Now, I know what you're thinking, there's nothing particularly mini about this car. And you're right, because that's the original 1960s Mini Countryman, and this is our car here. You probably can't tell the difference really in terms of the perspective. But let me explain it to you like this. You see, the original Mini Countryman was a bit like, I'm rubbish at football, a bit like a football. It's kind of small, manageable, very, very useful. Whereas this one is more like a big, silly, colourful beach ball. The advantage is, though, is that you can actually fit a beach ball into this car's boot because it is rather large. You've also got some storage under here, quite a lot actually, because there's no spare wheel. Get the car with run flat tyres actually. And there's some useful features like a little netted area here, some straps, ow, that hurt my finger, and some tethering points as well. You've got a 12-volt socket as well if you want to plug in something like an electric vacuum cleaner to clean out your boot because you've had your dog in there. Now, you've probably noticed there's no load lip to lift stuff over, which is good. And if I want more space, I can fold down the rear seats, but I do have to walk around to do it. Can't do it from the boot, which is a bit annoying. On the plus side though, they do split three-way, so you can carry things through here and two people either side. And I'll show you the seats folded down now. There we go. Now you don't get a completely flat floor, but it's almost flat and it's continuous, so you can push items right to the front of the car. Now let's just check out the back seats, because another advantage, of course, of having a Mini that's not so mini is that you've got a decent amount of space here in the back seats. So I'll just put them back. Once again, using the little catches to get them into position. So I'll just illustrate now. This seat is in my usual driving position. I'm around 5'11". I sit up dead straight, got sufficient headroom, decent knee room. Even the middle seat is bearable, so you can carry three in the back of this car once if you want to. And on the whole, yeah, it's very, very nice. This car has the upgraded rear seat, so for £300 extra, you can slide them and, where's that catch again? Always looking for the catches. And recline them as well. And that's an option definitely worth having if you ask me. And if you click up there, you can actually see more information on this car's practicality in my in-depth practicality video, and you can see how easy it is to fit a child seat in the back of here, how much stuff you can fit in the boot, and what it's like with three adults here in the back. Now, the downside of having a Mini that doesn't look all that mini is the fact that it looks a touch silly. So it's a bit ridiculous for something that's called a Mini to be so tall I have to jump for you to be able to see me over it. And then there's all like the design treatments that look okay on the littler Mini, but on this it's just a bit ridiculous actually. For me, this is a bit of a carbuncle of a car. It's not cheap either, so it starts from £22,500. If you click up there to go to carwow.co.uk, you can compare offers from dealers and buy at a price that you're confident in. Now, on the inside, however, there can be no doubt of which brand of car you're sat in, because it's got that true Mini character. It's all quirky, it's cutesy, yet it's high quality and it feels well built. I mean, there's certain features that I really love, like the little toggle switches down here and this huge round display in the middle of the dash. Now, the car itself is actually quite practical because it's the big Countryman. So you've got huge door bins and there's some storage down here. I also like the fact that it feels roomy here in the front, so the tall roof line means that, well, tall people will be able to get comfy, and because you can jack the seat all the way up, small people won't feel intimidated driving it either, which is great news. And then there's the infotainment system. So this one actually has the upgraded system and it's very slick. It's basically BMW's iDrive, but with some cutesy Mini graphics. Very nice and easy to use. And if you click up there, you can watch my full in-depth review of the infotainment system. This one is actually upgraded, and so that costs extra money. And also, when you look around the car, there's quite a few extra options on it, such as, I mean, we've got mood lighting in the door pockets. It's all a bit extravagant, and so is the price of the options. So this one actually has £10,000 worth of extra kit on it, which quite frankly is obscene. That's all the practical stuff dealt with. Now it's time to see what this Mini is like to drive. Underneath its skin, this Countryman shares quite a lot of its parts with the BMW X1, though it's lower, and as a result it does go round corners better than the X1. In fact, this thing handles pretty sweetly. It doesn't roll about much in the corners, and it's got sufficient grip as well. It's, dare I say, it's a bit of fun, this, you know, it's what you expect from something from the BMW group, and of course a Mini. Now, it's not as agile as the smaller Minis because obviously it's taller, it's bigger, it's fatter, and yeah, it's kind of what you expect. One thing to note is the steering. I mean, it's really sharp. You turn it and this car just darts into a corner. It's a little bit surprising at times. It actually has something called progressive steering. Now I'll try and explain that to you. So I'm just going to pull up over here.
so that someone doesn't crash into the back of me. Now what it means is that the more I turn the wheel, the increased amount the front wheels turn. So if I turn the wheel this much, let's say the wheels turn like that, but then I go through another kind of similar amount of turnage, the wheels turn a lot more. And what that means is that you can go from lock to lock in very few turns, and that means that it's very easy to maneuver this car in town. I suppose another way you can think about it is the longer I talk about the steering, the faster people are clicking out this video, so I better stop rabbiting on about it now. And one of the downsides of having a car that's kind of sporty and a bit lively like this Mini is that the suspension is a bit on the firm side. Some people will find it a touch uncomfortable, and if you do find this car a little bit too firm, you can get it with adaptive dampers which have a comfort mode, which helps. In terms of engines, well, you can get diesel and petrol. I go for the 1.5 litre petrol because it's punchy enough and it gives decent economy, though if you do lots and lots of miles, probably get the Cooper D. However, this one that I'm driving is the Cooper S, so it's got a 2 litre turbocharged petrol engine, 192 horsepower, supposed to do 0 to 60 in just over 7 seconds. It's supposed to do about 44 miles per gallon. I'm averaging 31, which isn't great. That pillar does create quite a blind spot, and the back window isn't particularly large. However, there is one saving grace. You get quite large quarter lights at the very back, so when you're looking over your shoulder to manoeuvre or to join a junction, that does help a lot. In fact, if you click up there, you can see for yourself by joining me for a 360-degree passenger ride video.
Not everything about the Mini Countryman is great. Here's 5 annoying things about it. The rear windscreen wiper is so small, it only clears you a very small porthole to look through. These fake side air vents on this Cooper S model just look rubbish. You can't fit the parcel shelf underneath the fourth floor, which is a shame. The fuel gauge is all cheap and nasty and plasticky, like some horrible children's toy. This car doesn't have an armrest in the rear middle seat, and you have to be careful when you fold it down because it comes down with quite a force. I think I've got a headache now. Thankfully, not everything about the Countryman is bad. There's plenty of cool features which more than make up for all this.
For 150 quid, you can get a little fold-out picnic bench there, so you can just sit at the back of the car and just look at stuff. I love how it folds away as well, look. It's brilliant.
There's a little Mini logo inside the indicators. But of course, the button to put the car into sports mode or green mode is integrated into the gear selector. The personalisation options on this car are almost endless. For instance, you can get the mirror caps in 17 different colours. The Mini Country Timer measures how much you've driven off-road. The further you go, the more stars you get. I bet no owners will end up with even a single star. Now, if you click up there, you can go to carwow.co.uk for more information and to save an average of £1,200 on a new Mini Countryman. So then, what's my verdict on it? Should you avoid it? Should you consider it? Should you shortlist it? Or should you just go right ahead and buy it? Well, I reckon if you like the look of it, you should shortlist the Mini Countryman. It may be a bit expensive, but it is a very good car. If you enjoyed this video, please like it and share it. Click up there to subscribe to our channel. Down there for my 360-degree passenger ride video. Down there for my detailed practicality video. And up there for my detailed infotainment video review for the Mini Countryman. Now, did you spot the Easter egg in this video? It was the song, The Countryman Fiddle, on the stereo. And I wasn't in any way, shape or form referring to the bike options.